Eating healthy doesn't mean you have to eat out at a pricey restaurant. Healthy Choice Simply Steamer's grilled chicken and broccoli Alfredo is an easy, high-protein meal with nothing artificial. The steam tray keeps the sauce separate, so you get crisp broccoli, creamy Alfredo sauce, and tender grilled chicken that's delicious every time. And it's a satisfying meal with 28 grams of protein. You can find it in the frozen aisle. Healthy Choice. What having it all tastes like.
Welcome back to another episode of the Countdown to Dopey. Tomorrow is race day. So this time tomorrow, if you are listening to these as they come out, you will be getting ready or on the bus to start your first race, to start the 5K. And I hope you are ready. I know you're ready. And if you're like me, you are doing your absolute best to ignore the fact that the butterflies are showing up. All right. So tomorrow morning, you are going to step on that bus. You're going to walk through security and go straight into what is going to look like a party. And that's right. It is a party at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's amazing. I hope you're like me and got your selfie in front of the ball. It's actually a little thing that my son and I have started to do back when he first did his very first race with runDisney, which was the 10K at the original Springtime Surprise in, I think it was 2022. And I have taken a selfie in front of the Epcot ball, in front of Spaceship Earth, every single race day since then. It just reminds me of him. All right. So you are going to see 3 things in front of you. You're going to see a whole bunch of things, but 3 things to pay attention to. One is if you have something to check, the bag check is going to be straight, is going to be on your right in one of the big trucks. You will see the stage, and on either side of the stage, there will be character opportunities. I would strongly advise that you wait until after the race to take advantage of that unless you are there shockingly early and there is no line. The reason for that is because you would much rather be in that line that is to your left, heading over to your corral to get as close to the front of your corral as you can. If you are on Facebook, Reddit, or any of the other runDisney forums, you will know that the colloquial advice is start towards the front of your corral if you're on the faster side. If you are in the last corral and are super afraid of getting caught by those really evil yet really, really nice balloon ladies in the back, maybe put as much distance between you and them as you can at the start of the race, keeping in mind that everybody else is trying to do the same thing. So be kind out there. All right. So let's talk about today. Today is not about doing more. You might have gone to the expo this morning. In fact, if you got your bibs, you did go to the expo this morning and you got back to your hotel. So today's not about doing more. Maybe you plan to go to the park today, maybe not. And either way is fine. But keep in mind that you have an early rise in the morning and you want to be nice and fresh and prepared and ready to go when that happens. All right. So today's about letting go. It's about letting go of all the emotion that's in there. It's about letting go about all the doubts and fears that you have leading into this race. If this is your first time doing this race, just keep in mind, you trained for this. You've got this. It's going to go however it needs to go. And that finish line, I hope for you that you will see all 4 of them. Okay. What is today? Today is not a day to squeeze in anything extra. Go do a little shakeout run. All of my athletes, they have on their plan, whether they choose to do it or not is on them. They each have on their plan a 30-minute zone 2 heart rate shakeout run. If you are not used to running in zones, a zone 2 heart rate is a rather slow and very easy run for most people who are not very, very experienced runners. A zone 2 run is going to look a lot more like a very slow jog or a fast walk. The point is to get your legs moving and shake out all of the junk that's sitting in them and get them race ready for tomorrow. It's not a day to second guess your training. Nope. Don't do it. Nothing good can come from that. It is not a day to overhaul your plan. You've got your plan. We've been talking about your plan for 2 weeks. Now is not a great time to throw that out the window and start over. And it is not the day to prove how prepared you are. We have talked several times about the need to keep things under control, be disciplined, and not burn ourselves out. Today is not the day to go and sprint around the pond, proving that you too can do some absurdly fast pace that others probably can as well. All right. Everything that needed to be done has already been done. Let me repeat that again. Everything that needs to be done has been done. There is literally nothing you can do today that is going to make your race go any better tomorrow than it otherwise can, but there is a lot of things you can do that can make it go worse. So please avoid those. And most of those involve just putting extra load on your legs. Going to bed late would be a bad thing. Eating a super heavy meal tonight would be a bad thing. Carb loading you did yesterday. Today you should eat on the lighter side and make sure that whatever you eat, you know how your body's going to react to it. The last thing you need is tomorrow showing up at the corrals and spending the whole morning in the toilet because you ate something today that was new and cool and fun and didn't agree with you. All right. Control is the name of the game for today. All right. Day 1, that's today, is hard because the urge to control gets louder. You may feel really tempted to recheck your gear one more time, and that's fine. Go through it as many times as you want. However, I would urge you not to because that just leads to more and more stress. Scrolling through online advice, today's not the day to do that. Stay off of Facebook, folks, please. Because you are going to find all sorts of other people who are freaking out and even more people giving really bad advice that might work for them but doesn't for anybody else. Remember, listen to people who have an authority. Do not listen to just any random stranger you met on the interwebs. Don't compare plans with other runners. Now is not the time to do that. The time to have done that would have been 16 to 20 weeks ago when you started your serious training for this race. It is not the time to mentally replay all the various what-if scenarios that are out there. And yes, tomorrow is the 5K, and tomorrow is probably going to find you a finish line regardless of how the day goes, assuming that you show up at the start line before the balloon ladies cross it. And that's a really important point. If you are a late riser and decide that you are going to take chances and get on that very last late bus over, good luck to you. Just make sure that you have made it through security and into your corral in front of the balloon ladies. They are the last folks. Actually, there are no balloon ladies on the 5K, but at any rate, make sure that you are there before they close the corrals. The corrals close, the course closes when the very last person in line crosses the start line. Once that last person crosses the start line, no additional people will cross that start line. So just don't ruin your weekend by being late. All right, all the other what-if scenarios that are rolling around in your head, no good can come from that. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. I've had all sorts of things happen. You know, I even had a carbon fiber plate in a very expensive racing shoe break on a 10K. Actually, it broke in the corral before we started. You know, stuff happens. You can't predict it. Be agile, be flexible, adapt to the day, and your day will be fine. All right. Your job is no longer to prepare. Let that sink in. Your preparation has completed. Your job now is to show up tomorrow ready. Ready doesn't mean perfect. Ready means calm, supported, steady, and confident. Today, trust replaces control. Trust in the process. Trust that you follow the process. And most importantly, trust in yourself. Let's talk about what actually does help today. 1, keeping things simple. Eat familiar foods, hydrate throughout the day. I have been hearing on Facebook forum for several days now, people advocating hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. You should be taking in 2, 3, 4, 6 liters of water a day. Probably not the most healthiest approach. We talked earlier about the potential of getting hyponatremia if you overhydrate. So adding some additional hydration over what you normally would take in is probably great for you. Taking in a ton extra probably doesn't have any additional value. All right, you are going to lay out your kit once, and then you're going to stop touching it. So pull it out, put it in a pile, take out your top, your bottoms, your socks, sports bra if you wear one, anything else that's going to be on your kit. If you're wearing a costume, take out your costume. Make sure it's all there, and pat yourself on the back. You got it to Disney. And now you're just going to leave it alone until tomorrow. That's it. You're done. It's there. Take mental note. You got it. All right. You're going to limit walking as much as is practical. If you choose to go to the park today, and let's be honest, who's not really? I go to the expo. I'll get there around 6 a.m. I am a Club runDisney Platinum member because I do all the races, and I really didn't need the stress in my life anymore of sitting in queue, stressing out whether or not I was going to get my bib. So I went ahead and did that many, many years ago. And so I will be there at 6 a.m. when the parking lot opens, and I will be there until about 1 p.m. And so, by the way, if you see me, say hi. Look for the pink hair. I got the pink put back in today just so I can be recognizable again. And then I'm going to go to the parks. I'm going to Animal Kingdom with my husband. We're going to do a couple rides. We got some lightning lanes. And then we're going to go back to the hotel, have dinner, and just chill out. That is our plan for this afternoon. Okay. Let's talk about sleep. Okay, you're going to sit more than it feels necessary to do so. Just take the load off. Protect your legs like they matter. That does not mean that you're going to become a couch potato today, because that's also not a good thing either. Just don't go waiting in 4-hour lines for Pandora. It's not worth it. You can do that another day. You spent all this time prepping for this race. You don't want to ruin it because you decided to wait in a 4-hour line. So, sit when you can. It's fine. It doesn't make you lazy. If you're around other runners, remember everyone is going through kind of the same range of emotions, especially if it's their first time doing this race or if they've done it before and not completed it. That is a mental hurdle that, is really hard to get past, and they're working through a lot of emotions just like you are. So, if people get on your nerves, just blow it off. Don't give them a hard time. Hey, remember, you don't need to absorb other people's energy. You belong here. And I want to say that again. You belong here. It doesn't matter what your pace. It doesn't matter what your speed. It doesn't matter what size you wear or what the number on the scale is. You are here. You are one of the very few people who have chosen to do this. You are in the less than 0.1% of people who even attempt of running a marathon. Less than 0.1% of all people even attempt to run a marathon, much less finish it. So kudos to you for making it here. Okay, now let's talk about sleep. You probably aren't going to get a lot of it. You might not sleep well tonight. You might sleep like a rock. Either way, tomorrow is going to go exactly the way it needs to go. It's going to go okay. 1 night or 4 nights of less than perfect sleep is not going to affect the months of training that you've done. Now, is it ideal to start a race on less than ideal sleeping for multiple days in a row? Probably not. I think the general rule of thumb for a marathon or any long endurance event like an IRONMAN or ultra is that the night before the race, you're probably not going to be sleeping well. 2 nights in advance is the best time to get that great sleep. Sleep is unfortunately not one of those things that you can bank forward. However, okay, confidence is cumulative. Have the confidence in your training. Have the confidence in your plan. Have the confidence that whatever sleep you get is going to be enough for you. What matters more than your sleep quantity is how calm you keep your system, how calm you keep your brain, how calm you keep your nerves. All right, lastly, you can't force sleep. Just allow rest. Your mind may be racing. You might be up until 2 o'clock in the morning. And guess what? Your alarm is going off at 2 o'clock in the morning. So you might be showing up very tired. And you know what? The second you get in the corral, that is all going to evaporate with all the adrenaline that is now going to be flowing through your body from the excitement of finally being here at the start line. You're going to see Carissa and crew up on stage, and it is going to be amazing. Okay, so your mental setting for tomorrow, before bed tonight, you have one simple intention you're going to set. It's not a pace goal. It's not a time goal. It's an execution goal. You are going to say something to yourself along the lines of, I will start patiently. I will stay in my lane. I will respond calmly. These intentions become your anchors for tomorrow. When things feel loud and chaotic, and they will, you come back to that. When things are crazy on course and someone cuts you off, you will respond calmly. When everyone else is rushing forward at paces that they can't sustain, you are going to start patiently at a pace that you can sustain, and you will pass those people because they can't sustain the pace that they started off at, and they've now burnt themselves out. Okay? When people are passing rudely, you'll stay in your lane and run right past them. Okay. So what I want you to hear clearly is you belong on that start line tomorrow. And it's not because of a pace you can run. It's not because of a finish time that you've done in the past. You belong because you prepared, you showed up, and you committed. Nothing you do today will make you more worthy of that start line. A runner is a runner. And it doesn't matter if you walk, run, walk, jog. It doesn't matter. One foot in front of the other. And if you are in a wheelchair, it is one roll after another. All right. As today winds down, let's get you into release. There is a need for certainty, reassurance, and perfection. Tomorrow does not require perfection. It requires you to be present. You've done all the work to get here. Tomorrow is your first day to execute. All right. So tonight, your only job is to arrive at tomorrow. Eat, hydrate, rest, breathe. Tomorrow we'll talk about the race day itself, being present, managing the noise, and running the mile that you are in. Tomorrow is your first race day, and I am super excited. I know you are super excited. I'm hoping that you are listening to this at the expo or before you get to the expo or even the night before the expo. You are going to be amazing. I will see you in the morning. My name is Jill Bartholomew, and I want you to be fierce tomorrow. All right. With that, I will see you tomorrow for the final edition of the Countdown to Dopey.
Eating healthy doesn't mean you have to eat out at a pricey restaurant. Healthy Choice Simply Steamer's grilled chicken and broccoli Alfredo is an easy, high-protein meal with nothing artificial. The steam tray keeps the sauce separate, so you get crisp broccoli, creamy Alfredo sauce, and tender grilled chicken that's delicious every time. And it's a satisfying meal with 28 grams of protein. You can find it in the frozen aisle. Healthy Choice. What having it all tastes like.